Collecting cards just got easier. That's what's happening in patch 0.0.25 in Duelyst. It is I, 8-Bit Matt, and I am excited to bring you another patch notes video. Let's jump into it. Some of the major changes this week are quests. They have been kind of revamped a little bit. They have removed most of the win-based quests and replaced them with play. So, meaning instead of, hey, you have to win with, Magmar twice, it's play 2 with Magmar, things like that. Just that way, your time is much more taken into consideration, I would say. So that's nice to hear, because there are some factions that I always like, I never play Songhai, but now I got to play 2 matches if I want to get my gold. So I like that change. Nice, makes me want to explore some other decks and things like that. Spirit Orbs, previously known as booster packs, have had their rarity drops been changed or tweaked a little bit. So we'll see how that pans out, and it'll be pretty obvious because there has also been a soft wipe this week, meaning that you have lost your card collections, but you have gotten all of your gold back. So you'll be able to open plenty of booster packs along your way. And they've also tweaked the crafting materials, so it sounds like they've reduced the number of materials to make those legendary and epic cards, which is nice because they were a little daunting before. So glad to see that change. Really will hopefully help build some of those cards up. So I'd like to see that. Speaking of cards themselves, we have a few card changes this week. Some pretty interesting ones to Songhai to start off. So Inner Focus has been reduced to a 0-cost card, and the text has been changed to refresh an exhausted minion with 3 or less attack. So this is a pretty big nerf to this card. I mean, granted, it is losing its mana cost, but the reason people would use this card is to, drop like a 9 minion down or a 7 minion with backstab and attack twice and do, 18 damage or something insane. Not the case anymore. You might see some, hey, I'm going to use it as backstab with 3 attack, and then buff it, use this and then buff it to kind of counteract that effect, but that might not even work either. So yeah, nice way to see that card kind of be balanced a little bit more. It was very intimidating and strong, knowing that Songhai had that at their disposal. Another interesting change is that the Mist Dragon Seal has been reduced from a 2-cost to a 1-cost. So yeah, this is nice. I mean, again, it's kind of, balancing out. The Inner Focus has, been nerfed. Maybe buffing this just to help people out. Interesting change. We'll see how it is. If you didn't have 3 of these in your deck already, I'm not sure what was going on. But this is the scary one, guys. This is a very scary change. Tusk Boar text has been changed. Return this minion to your action bar at the beginning of your next turn. Return it to your action bar. It means you get it back if it's not killed. That is terrifying. Not only has this card, was it strong before, but now it's even stronger, that the fact that it doesn't just disappear, it comes back into your hand for 2 cost. God. I mean, I could easily see you dropping this card a couple times and having it survive and putting it back in your hand. A really strong asset. Granted, it is a legendary, but still a solid card. Yeah, I mean, if you can get your hands on it, put it in all your Songhai decks, as many as you can. But that's going to do it for Songhai. Up next, we've got our neutral minion change, which is the Merc Blood Devourer. Its stats have been changed to a 2/4. Still has its same flavor text of getting a +1/+1 when minions summon nearby. Yeah, I mean, this is nice. I mean, before it was, it still had its buffs, but didn't really, it couldn't attack itself. So yeah, it's nice to see it have a little bit of a teeth of its own, if you will. I mean, it's got like 4 heads of teeth right there, so seems more appropriate. Some other changes are a little bit of a nerf to the Vetruvain side of things. Blind Scorch has been increased to 2-cost, so this makes sense. I mean, this is a powerful card. It was really low cost before. I mean, upping its cost just a little bit, not going to change the world, but you just got to think about playing it, and set your deck up appropriately for that. So yeah, not too worried about it. I think I only had generally 1 of those in a deck anyway, so having it 1 more cost isn't that big of a deal. They are buffing, or I'm sorry, they are nerfing the Egmorph. This is a super strong card, buffing it just to 4 cost instead of 3. Again, seems appropriate. It's basically a dispel or removal thing of any type of minion. So yeah, I like to see that. And then the Dark Transformation for Abyssin has been raised to 5. I believe this was the original cost of the card, so it was super powerful before. I mean, it's very similar to the Egmorph. However, it automatically removes the minion and brings a 1/1 Wraithling in its place. So it makes sense that this card costs more than the Egmorph. Granted, they are in different decks, but there are factions. But it makes sense. Like, what am I getting for my cost? So, all in all, pretty good changes. I think this will kind of help out people against Songhai, especially with that inner focus nerf. But again, like I said, I think there might be some ways around it, so they can still do some pretty heavy damage, just not as much as before. And they have to plan it out a little bit more. That's it in terms of card changes. No new cards this week, but one of the things I'll cover quickly, I won't cover all these cards, but the rarity changes to a variety of cards. Most of them were epic or rare, and they have been kind of reduced to commons or rares. So handful of cards here. We've got a few for Lionar, a few for Vetruvain, a couple neutrals. I think the one for me to stand out is the neutral minion High Hand has been dropped to a common. So that's a pretty awesome card. And I actually haven't seen much play of it yet, but I bet I will now that it is a common card. So yeah, there's some other good changes in there, but again, they're just trying to make it easier to pick up some of those really strong minions for your decks and help build them out a little bit more. So very cool. In terms of that, they've fixed a couple of the bug issues. I won't go into too many more of those, but in terms of the patch, that's it, guys. So pretty light. Excited to open all those packs again and see what fate is going to bring me in terms of what deck I should play. Excited to see the reduced cost of crafting. Let's see what else. Yeah, overall, I'm excited. To recap, patch 0.0.24. I was lucky enough to get a few Aether Masters and play those, and being able to replace 2 cards in a deck or in a hand it's awesome. It is super strong. I was definitely able to pull off several wins, even though my deck I didn't have a strong deck build because I was trying something new. I was able to pull out victories because I was really abusing that replace mechanic with that card. So yeah, huge fan of that card. Definitely pick it up if you can, or craft into it. I would recommend. But yeah, I'm excited about these changes. Excited to see if Songhai can still make themselves dominant even without this inner focus. Well, guys, don't want to keep you any longer than that. That's been patch 0.0.25. Let me know what cards you draw. Did you get any legendaries? Did you get the Merkblood Devourer? Did you get Tuskboar? Are you rolling Songhai? I know if I get that, I'm definitely going Songhai. Yeah, let me know what cards you get. Excited to hear. All right, guys. Catch you next week. See ya.